Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We are live. What's up, everyone? We are live, getting this thing going, talking about an incredible way for us to grow. Come on in, say what's up as you're coming in. Let me know that you are here, that you are good, that you are ready. Make sure I get everything set up here, man. It's 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to get into this today. I believe it's going to be really, really good. Just say what's up as you're coming in. I want to shout you all out, man. Really excited about this evening and what's going to happen. So, what's up? What's up? What's up to everyone for sure? Got some good stuff planned for us this evening. This is going to be episode 2 of how to invest, how to get started, how to get into it. Yep. Shout out to you all coming on in. Say what's up as you're coming in. Drop your name in. Also, let me know if you were here for episode 1 or if this is your first time here. Let me know for sure in the chat. We're going to get started in just about 90 seconds here. But let me know if you were here for the very first time, or if again you were here for episode 1. Really excited about tonight and what's going to happen. So come on in, say what's up. Hey, what's going on, Q? What's going on, man? Should be a good evening. Matter of fact, I know what's going to be. And so, absolutely. So, also, as you're coming in too, as you let me know if it's your first or second time, I want to make sure you all can hear and see me okay. So let me know that the audio is good, the video is good. This is episode 2. So we want to make sure we have these type of things right. All right. So let me know if you can hear and see okay. And then we're going to get right into this thing. I believe that we should, if we're going to grow, we have to be really intentional. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Absolutely. So, boom, I got this. I got this. I got this. All right, cool. All right, so y'all coming in. I'm seeing the audio is good. Cool. Audio is great. Like to see it. Love to see it. Awesome. Awesome. First time here. Okay. Second time here. Like to see it. Cool. I like it. I like it. That's good. That's good. That's really good. That's really good. That's really good. All right. And so listen, let's get right into this thing tonight. Again, this is episode 2 of how to invest. I really want to encourage you all to make sure you are sharing this with other people. Like there's something about uh, people having conversations with you in the next 6 months, year, 5 years, etc. And they're like, "Hey, man, thank you for putting me on. Like, thank you for looking out. Thank you for not keeping this to yourself, because we are on this journey to really change the financial futures of our family." How many of you are with that? Like, you really want to change like what the dichotomy of your financial future looks like you want it to look different. You may have seen one path, you may have seen one way, been taught one way, but you really want to see things look different. And I want you to know that this is going to be a tool to really help you navigate, right, the left and rights, the ups and downs of what we go through as people. Hear me here, as investors. All right, as investors. And so let's get right into it tonight. And so this is what I want to get as a start. Again, thank you all for sharing this with other people, texting out the link and getting people in here. Let's get right into it. And so I want you all to think about this. If you have questions from last time, listen, towards the end, I'm going to give us an opportunity to drop those questions in and ask even new questions. That's cool too. All right. And so I want to get into this first. Let me first give us this disclaimer. I want to give it right here at the top so we're all on the same page and that we're all good. All right. So I'm a person, I am not, I'm saying who I'm not first. I am not a financial advisor. Okay. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a person just like you who has spent the time and invested and researched and seen incredible results from investing. All right. So everything that you hear today are going to be things that I have personally experienced, I have personally benefited from, And I've made the decision that I was no longer going to keep the information to myself and a few people, but I wanted to share what God had given me with many others. Does that make sense? And so I wanted to really just touch others with the information. And so that's why we are here tonight. That's your disclaimer. Make sure that as you hear what's going on tonight, you always do your own research. You always want to do your own research and do what? Your own research. This is for educational purposes only, information only, but you have to put in the work, put in the time to identify whether this is a good fit for you or not. Let's get into it. No more delay. Let's get right into it. So here's what I want to share right off the top. Last time we talked about what the stock market is and what makes it up. We got into in some individual stocks. We got into exchange traded funds. We call them ETFs. If you miss all this, make sure you go back when we're done and check it out. We talked about simple terms that we can do to understand, man, like the mind of an investor. We got into the importance of understanding that the mind of an investor is different from the minds of someone who just exchanges their time for money. And I believe that if you're here this evening, you're a person that doesn't want to just exchange your time for money, but you want your money to begin working for you. Horizontal money. It grows while you're sleeping. Talk to me, somebody, right? And so this is why I started. I want you to hear me clearly here. I was in my early 20s and I was working for a company. And to be totally honest with you, I was not making much money at all. Right. And so I was in my early 20s. I was very new to what it meant to even have a job, like first job out of college, not really understanding. All I knew was I knew what it meant to go to work. I knew what it meant to get paid on a Friday. I know what it meant to understand that I was not going to receive the total income that I earned, the gross, but that taxes would come out of that and that I had to live on whatever was left over. Anybody like know that first feeling when you figure out, wait a minute, I have to pay back some of this money? I thought all of it was mine, right? And so I know how that feels. I don't come from a family where this was readily talked about at the dinner table. I wasn't taught how to pay bills. I wasn't taught how to invest in stocks. I was given much love, but this was an area that was not talked about in my household. Is that your story? I don't know. Right? If you grew up differently, man, shout out to you. But that wasn't the story. That wasn't the case for me. Right? And so what happened was I remember someone coming to me and talking to me about something called at the time I called it a 401k plan. And I was like, what does this mean? What is this? And here's all I could hear. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Here's all I could hear. You want me to take some of the money that I need, that I've earned, and you want me to put some of this money somewhere where it could possibly, maybe, I don't know what it's going to do. It could earn me some money. It may not earn me some money. Listen to you all. Listen, as a person in the early 20s, I wasn't hearing that. Anybody? That made no sense to me. I had a checking, did not have a savings, and you're talking to me about taking even more of my money and putting it in something that I don't understand. What's all these numbers? What's all this? Listen, it made no sense to me at the time. It made absolutely no sense. I did not understand it. I never heard of it before. It made no sense to me. I just wasn't hearing it. Has anybody ever been through that or experienced that, right? Or you're navigating that? Some of you maybe even navigating that now. It made no sense. And so for me, here was a turning point, was I began to I began to understand that the bills were coming. I began to understand what it meant about being in debt and credit cards. And I was spending, and I kept having to go to a place that I did not like, a job, and keep trying to earn money to pay for my single lifestyle. And listen to me, I don't know how to fully explain it, but after a while of doing that, something just wasn't clicking. Something did not quite make sense to me. And so I began to have like these pains of like, wait a minute, something has to be different. I knew how I saw like adults before me, how they lived. And I didn't know if like how they got there, but I did know that I wanted, if it was possible, for my life to look different in some kind of way. And so I just begin to research some things about how do I make more money? What is and what does it mean to invest? Right? I start seeing these words like assets. I start seeing these words about how to get out of debt. I start seeing these words about how to save, about lifestyle. And I'm doing my research and I'm studying and I'm getting into it. And I went through a period of time where I drastically cut back on what I was spending. But here's why. And I really hope this community can hear this, is that I began doing these things because all I could think about was this. I want to do this for the person who can benefit from this 10 years from now. I want to do this for my wife or my kids one day, right? That's the mindset. I've splurged so much. I bought so much stuff and I really didn't have anything to show for it. And so for me, and we'll get more into that later, different day, different time. But for me, that was the introduction to identifying and finding out what it meant to invest, what it meant to invest in real estate, what it meant to invest in the stock market. And I started small and I started slow, to be very honest with you. I started with smaller amounts, right? And I did it over time. That's the key, to do it over time, right? And so let's really get into this and get into some very practical things about how we can navigate this. All right. I want you all to hear some of the practical things about how we can further get this thing started. All right. So by in the chat, talk to me. I want to make sure that I'm talking to the right audience and that I'm sharing relevant information. How many of you are here because you want to be a better investor? Meaning this is that you want your money to work for you and you're into this. You're willing to let your money grow for longer than a year. Maybe you have a 5-year horizon, 10-year, 20-year, etc. But you are here as an investor to learn how your money can grow over the long term. If that's you, put investor in the chat. Also, some of you, from your comments, I'm understanding that some of you are, yes, possibly interested in investing, but you may also be a person who's trying to get out of debt, financially free. That may be you. This third type of person is someone who is interested in learning how to trade. What does that mean? A person that is in and out of the market in a short period of time, right? Like you are buying things in the short term, a day, a week, a month, etc., and then taking your money out. That's a trader. And so talk to me in the chat if you're more of the investor approach or if you're more of the trader approach. I'm seeing investor all in the chat. I'm seeing investor. It's good. So I want to make sure that I'm giving the right information to the right people. I like it. I'm seeing investor. Good. Makes sense. Makes sense. So do this for me in the chat right now. If you are a person who is saying, yes, I want to learn more about investing, I want you to give me your top 1 or 2 questions that you have about investing. I'm seeing it. All right, cool. I'm seeing it. Trying to tap into both. I like it. Trader 2, both. I like it. So we have a good mix here. Some who are into investing, interested in learning that side of it, others who are trading, and some say a little bit of both. This is good. Trader, I like it. Okay, good. So I don't know what all you all listen to. But I want to build a relevant community that can help you all grow in these areas. So I will not give you information that I don't know. I will only give you what I've learned how to do. All right. And so for all my people who are interested in learning trading, let me tell you all this part is that I've been introduced to trading because I saw periods of time where my investment portfolio, my funds were going down, right? And so I was like, wait a minute, what can I do? Is there anything that I can do when my portfolio is going down? And here's what I learned: I can. And so for those of you who are interested in trading, honestly, for me, that was the introduction. I will give you what more information as we go, but hear me clearly here, right? There is a way to make money in the stock market even when the stock market is going down. Talk to me if you all knew that in the chat. There's a way to make money in the stock market even when it's going down. So I've learned how to pull money out of the market, right? Even whether it's going up or whether it's going down. Listen, it can change everything for you when you can literally provide, build a wealth plan, even when, regardless of which direction things are moving in, right? And so I want to give you all relevant information, right? Drop your questions in about your top question about investing or trading. While you are doing that, I want to show you something. So for those of you, I mentioned last time, this ETF, this exchange traded funds. For those who missed that, ETF is a combination of multiple stocks, right? I mentioned one that's called an ETF that's called QQQ. That's the name of it. QQQ. It's three Q's. QQQ. And so right now, I want to show you something. So you can use multiple apps to get this information, right? I want to show you something. One of the ones that I use is called Yahoo Finance, right? It gives you information about different companies. And so when I first went to Yahoo Finance, you could put it in, you could tap in Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, whatever you want to look up, Nike, Starbucks, whatever it is, or you can type in funds. This is what you are very likely to see. Are you ready for this? I got y'all next level tonight. Check this out. All right. Tell me if you all can see my screen right now. Can you all see my screen? Can you all see? This is called a chart. Can you all see what is on my screen? Talk to me here. Talk to me here. Can you see what's on my screen? Are we good here? Let me make sure we're good before I move on with this. This right here is called a chart, a stock chart. I'm saying yes. Awesome. Love it. All right, check this out. This is what I did. If you see where my mouse is right here, can you all see my mouse moving? This right here is called, you see right here, it's called QQQ, right? Trust QQQ. This is simply the name of what I just gave you. Now, what is QQQ? QQQ, this is just an example, right, fam? It's just an example. This is an ETF. Again, it's a combination of multiple stocks. So if you invest in something like QQQ, you are buying shares in some of the top tech companies like Amazon, like Tesla, like Google, like Microsoft, like Apple, like Nvidia, various companies. And so rather than putting your money into an individual stock or individual company that could drastically go up or down, you can put your money into something like this, QQQ, for example, right? And it's a combination of those individual stocks. And so it's not going to move as rapidly up or down. So it tends to be a safer place to place your money, right? And so I want to show you all this. So when I first saw something like this, I said, what in the world is going on? Talk to me. If you have ever seen something like this, talk to me in the chat. Like when I first saw this, I said, did somebody color on some like what does this mean? I seen it in movies and people look at charts that's moving up and down and they're acting frantic and panicking. I was confused. What does any of this mean? It makes no sense to me what is going on. How many of you have ever seen something like this or had these same thoughts? Like, what in the world is going on? This makes absolutely no sense. Don't you worry. I've seen a yes in the chat. Exactly. I like it. Listen, I'm about to break it down for you. Y'all ready for this? Grab your pen, grab your paper, get your notebook, your tablet, whatever it is you use. By the time we get done with this, you're going to know what's going on. You're going to have a initial understanding and be able to begin doing solid research for yourself. All right. So let's break this down. Let's take it slow, but let's be really intentional. Check this out. When you first open this up, the first thing that I want you to do is start on the left, right? The left of this chart over here. Over here, you're going to see it says QQQ. That's the name of what I looked at, right? If you search Yahoo Finance and you typed in Apple or whatever you put in, this is going to come up. This right here is a chart, right? And so the first thing I want you to do, number one, I want you to come over here and make sure that the right name is right here. This is QQQ, right? Now, what I then want you to do is come over here to the far right. Can you all see over here where it says like 275, 300, 325, 350, and so on and so forth? You all see that? All that information over here to my far right? Make sure that we're all on the same page. This right here is the price of QQQ. This means that this is how much it would cost you to buy one share to become an owner in QQQ, right? And so this says 275. Again, this says 300. This says 325, and on and on and on. It's showing you the price of QQQ. And we're all on the same page. Put a yes in the chat. So far, so good. We got a name and we see how much it costs. Mind you, again, when you buy a share, you are of QQQ, for example, right? You are buying ownership in those companies that I just mentioned to you. All right. Again, this is showing you how much it would cost you to buy one share. So far, so good. I'm gonna take it slow so we get this. Don't worry about all this in the middle just yet. Those two things. I got a name, I got a price. If you go to your 401k plan or wherever you go to, look at this part first. I have a name and I have a price. Now, here is where it begins to, you have to have further understanding. Check this out. This right here, you see all these like red and green lines right here, and they're moving all over the place. And you're like, what in the world? This doesn't make sense. I got you. Check this out. These are called candlesticks. Put that in the chat. Put candlesticks in the chat. Put it in the chat. Candlesticks. I got y'all. I'm gonna keep it simple for you. These are called candlesticks. Put that word in the chat. Candlesticks. I got you right here. Candlesticks. 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 All right. Candlesticks. So what I want to show you is this. All right. This is what this means. You see right here the word candlesticks. You see it says green. This one over here is red. What does this mean? This is what it means. A candlestick is showing you how the price is moving. Okay? So on the chart that I just showed you right here, right? This chart right here. Remember this? The chart right here. This is showing you how price has been moving. So I come back to this one, clear understanding. On this green one, it's showing you this is where the price opened for that day. What does that mean? When that day started, that, in this case, this QQQ had a value on it. Okay? Say the value of QQQ was $300. Okay. So the opening price was $300 for QQQ. That's the opening price. Now, you see up here that it says close. Close means at the end of that day, say it closed at $350. So it opened at $300, it closed at $350. This is called the body of the candle. Just listen to this right here, right? It's no different, fam. That I don't have one close by, but you know how you buy like the scented candles, and it has the candle, and it has like a little wick on top, and you light the wick, and the wick burns, and it makes the scent come out. This is the same concept. This top part right here on the top of it, this is called a wick. It looks just like a candle. This is the top of the candle. This is the wick on top of the candle, right? If you come down here under open, this right here is a bottom wick, which is the low of the candle. So what this means is this. Again, say price open at $300 right here. During the course of that day, price was moving up and down. It's worth 300. It's worth 280. It's worth 325. It's worth price is moving around throughout the day, right? This shows us at some point during this day, price went below 300, and at some point during this day, price went above 350. But at the end of the day, it closed at 350 right here. So the wicks just show you where price went for that given day. And this green means this. The green simply means that price went up. Bam. Let's keep it simple. That price went up. It opened at one price and it closed at another price. All right. Right here, I want you all to drop your questions in. Let's pause for a minute. This is the movement that price had, right? Drop your questions in. This is different from if you all went to like a grocery store. You went to a grocery store and you went to buy some chips. Well, if you go in on one particular day, those chips cost what they cost. They cost $1.50, right? And pretty much if you went back in an hour, they likely still be $1.50. Here's the difference. If you went to buy that same, and you all, matter of fact, you all have experienced this. You go in and buy that same bag of chips 6 months or a year from now, and you're like, wait a minute, why is it $2? It was just $1.50. It's the same concept. Price began at one point, and over that year, price moved in between different places. And at the time you happen to look at it, it moved up from $1.50 to $2. I'm gonna pause right here. Talk to me if this makes sense. Put yes in the chat. If you have a question, put your questions in the chat. I'm going to teach us right here how to begin to understand. Go back here, how to understand what all this means. All right. So put it in the chat if this makes sense so far, just about this candlesticks part. Does that make sense? It's the same side on the flip side. Over here on this red candle, price opened up here and then it went down in here. All that means during the course of this day, price was up here at 350, and here it came down and it closed at 300. That's all that means. The value went down during that given day. And these wicks just mean at one point it was higher, at one point it was lower. But at the end of the day, we opened right here at 300 and we closed we opened at 350 and we closed at 300, right? Green means price went up. Red means price went down. We're just keeping it simple. Talk to me in the chat. Are we good so far on just the candlestick? All right. So the question is, so the wick at the top changes according to the value. Great question. So check this out. Say right now it's 6:30 p.m., right? So say at 6:30 p.m., can you all see the top of this green candle where it says close, right? Say that closing price was $350, right? And above that, you got $365, $370, $375, right? Where it says high, let's say that number was 380. That means that at some point during the day, price got up to $380. At some point, the value went up to 380, but it didn't stay there. It came back down to $350. So the wick is just showing you where did price go during this given day? How did the price of this stock change during this given day? And so we're all looking at the market at different times. You may look at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever time it is. And so close means at the end of the day, yes, price moved around. People were buying shares, people were selling shares, buying shares at 12 o'clock, selling shares at 1 o'clock. They were like, right? People were buying and selling. So price was moving. But at the end of this day, even though price had a high of 380, price came down and it settled at the close, which was 350. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So this is only just showing you how price moved during this given day. That's all it's showing you. It's showing you how price moved. I'll give you all a practical example that help this make sense for me, right? Check this out. All right, it makes sense. All right, good. Hey, this is how it made sense to me, right? Like I purchased a home, right? So you purchased a home and that home costs $300,000, right? Then you check the value of your house in a year and your house was valued at $350,000. So you checked it in 2 years and it come down some to $325,000. Well, when it comes to real estate, the price of your home, the value is moving. The difference is you don't check it every single day. So you don't know how much your price or the value of your home is on any given day. The price of your asset, your home, your price is whatever someone is willing to pay for it. It changes month to month, year to year, right? This right here is the exact same thing. This stock of QQQ is moving throughout the day. It's fluctuating throughout the day. Whatever someone is willing to pay is fluctuating. So imagine this. And here's where you are going to see how people make money. Are you ready for this? Check this out. Say on this day, price opened right here at $300, right? At 9:30 a.m. in the morning. This is the opening price. 9:30 a.m. when the stock market opens, almost like how you clock in to go to work and you start working at 9:30 a.m. and you start working throughout that day. At the end of the day, they give you whatever your hourly rate is, your salary, or whatever else it is. You clock in and you clock out, right? Practically understand this. When the stock market clocks in, it opens at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Said the opening price of QQQ was $300. Check this out. Say you came back at 12 noon and a lot of people were just buying stocks that given day. People were excited about Microsoft. They were excited about Amazon. They came out with some new phones. They came out with some new information. They came out with some new technology, or whatever else it is. And many investors, many companies, many institutions with money start buying QQQ or buying these individual tech stocks. Please help me on the chat. What's going to happen to the price if multiple people are buying these tech companies, buying shares? Drop it in the chat. What's going to happen? I want to see if we're getting this. What's going to happen if at 9:30 a.m. people get excited about these companies and they start buying shares? They start investing. What's going to happen to the price? I'm seeing in the chat. There we go. Price is going to go up. So say you come in, it opened at 300. Say at 12 o'clock, price has gone up to $310, $315, $320. Well, if you bought it when it opened at a lower price and you sold it when it was higher, you make money. That makes sense? You're buying at one price and you're selling at another price. Say QQQ over a course of a year, 2 years, 5 years, it goes from $300 and the value goes up to $500. What happens? You've made money by buying multiple shares. And check it out, fam. This is just the investing side. I haven't even got into the trading side yet. This right here is just the investor. As an investor, you're buying individual shares in this company. As price goes up, you make money. You buy here, you sell here. This is how people make money in the stock market. They remember last 2 weeks ago, I was sharing with us. This is why we don't put all of our money in at one time. We buy, right? We buy at different prices. We buy at different levels. We buy it over time. So over time, our money is steadily being invested and steadily going up. Because some people will say this, like, well, okay, let's go back here. Check this out. So this right here, you see over here, all this green is red, is green, is red, is green, is red, is green, is red, is green, is red. Notice this. Notice that the keyword right here. Notice that, yes, this right here is just a chart of green and red candlesticks, I'll say. That's it. Remember, green meant is going up. Red means, hey, it went down that day. We're all good there. Green means it went up that day, right? Red means it came down that day. We're good there? Simple, right? That's simple. Here's another key. I don't want to give us too much in one day, but I want us to understand this. Look over here. You see all these candlesticks? Some are green, some are red. Notice there's something that's called a trend. This is really key. Write this down. Trend. Notice that the trend is constantly moving. It's not in a straight line, but it's starting to move up and to the right. Can we all see that? The trend it's not in a straight line, but it's incrementally going higher. Tell me if you all can see that. These candlesticks, green, 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 a little bit of red. Green, 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 one red, one red. Over here, it's green, red, green, red, green, green, red, green. See what I'm saying? It's steadily going up over time. Tell me if you all can see that on this chart. Does that make sense? Price is steadily going up. Can we all see that? Drop it in the chat if that makes sense. Price is going up. It's going up and to the right. It is progressing. Remember, price over here is at 275 way back here in March. Now we're in September. Price is way up here around the 350s. Does that make sense? Talk to me in the chat. Can we see that price is going up? Let me know. Talk to me. Does that make sense so far? Does that make sense? Price is going up. I'm watching the chat to make sure we're all on the same page here. It's going up and to the right. Up and to the right. Are we good? If something does not make sense, no problem. Talk to me in the chat. What's in the word? Yes, good, good, good. This means that we are trending in an upward movement. This means that things are moving in the right direction. If things were moving down over time, down and to the right, no. You got to think twice, because that means what? That means you're losing money. This right here is going to give you, this chart right here is going to give you what's happened all this year, right? It's going to show you how price moved all this year. This is showing us that this year price has been going what? Up. So if you invested way back here in the early part of the year at 275, and now it's up here, at one point it was 375. That's a $100 move. That means you made that amount of money in just a year. Somebody's like, well, hey, hold on. But that's like $100 in like an entire year. Let me help you out here. Remember, that's just if you purchased one share. This is QQQ. What happens if you bought something that was valued at $100 and it went to 300, or you bought something at $70 and it moved to 200, and you bought multiple shares? What happens? You're making that amount times your 10 shares, that amount times your 20 shares. And so this is why I told you we have to constantly invest over time, because what happens is you are accumulating more and more and more shares or ownership. And over time, that money is continuing to make money for you. This is how people who invest in the stock market continue to make money. This is what they use as a tool. They buy valuable companies and they wait for those companies to go up in value, and they make money off of companies doing well. This is how they are doing this. This is how they are doing this, and this is how they are adding value to their family by understanding how this thing works. Right here, let's pause. Drop your questions in the chat. What questions do you have? Drop it in the chat. What questions? What questions do you have about this? This right here, we've seen a stock. We've seen how it moved. We've seen what a candlestick is, and we've seen a chart that has multiple candlesticks on it, which shows the price that is moving during that given day. What questions do you all have? What questions? I'm seeing great breakdown. Man, I appreciate it. Yeah, drop your questions in. Some may say, hey, but I have a fear of losing, right? There's a risk. Anytime you buy anything, there's always going to be a risk. Here's what makes it riskier than normal. It's riskier than normal when you're trying to just flip money. Let's get into it. Let's be real. All right. Let's listen here. Let's get real. It gets real when you're like, hey, I'm trying to take this $100. I'm trying to flip it and turn this 100 into $1,000 in a week. Right? It's a flipping mindset. I put some money in. I need to move real quick, and then I want to get rich quick, or I want to make this money. I want to flip it real fast. Listen, that's not an investor's mindset. That's not how the investor thinks. Come on, y'all, talk to me in the chat. Like, be real. Like, we all have been there. I want to take this and I want to flip it. And then when it doesn't work, then I'm like, wait a minute, I lost money. What's going on? The whole market doesn't work now. And yeah, it's no different. So you try to flip a house and the values went down. What happens? You would lose money. So you bought into some product that your homeboy, your homegirl told, listen, this beauty product gonna work wonderfully. So you put in your $500 and then the company goes out of business. What happens? You lost your money. This is a part of what it means to be a part of a market. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this platform and this community to teach us how to invest the right way so we can build some longevity, so we can build some wealth, and we can make things happen for our children's children. Y'all, this is only an introduction. It's so many levels to this. I'm telling you, this right here will change everything for your family. Facts. Yeah, drop it in. Drop all your questions in. You have a question about any of this or anything from the first episode. I want you all to drop those questions in. What do you have? What you got? Drop them in. Drop them in. Drop them in. Yep, drop them in. What question do you have? Also, let's see if you are I don't know who maybe someone who has just opened an account. Even that, hey, let me know. From the last episode, you went and checked out one of the platforms I mentioned to you, and you went open up an account. And that's you, man. Listen, I salute you. I salute you. Listen, we have multiple people in here. Let me know, what question do you have? I'm seeing the comments. Yep, we understand. We're good. I like it. Drop the questions in and your feedback in. What made sense? And also, is there anything that did not make sense? Talk to me in the chat. Talk to me. I want to make sure that we're all good here. Yep, that we're all good here. I want to make sure that we're good. Let's see, I got it pulled up here as well. I got it. Beautiful. I'm seeing heart emojis going up in the chat here as well. Anything at all. Anything at all. Anything at all. Let's see, I saw a question here. I got that one. If I miss your question, make sure you drop it in the chat here for me as well. Absolutely, I'm loving the hearts. Listen, take this moment too. If you're finding value in this, if this is helping you, if this is making sense to you, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button on this video while you're asking your questions, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well. I want to make sure you're always getting the notifications. Turn that bell icon on so you're being notified of all the videos. Again, drop your questions in, but make sure if you're not already, you are subscribed and you also are liking the video, man. We're going to spread the word differently about how things can move. Absolutely. Drop it in. Drop it in. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Yeah. So okay. So I want to share this. Last year I made some investments into some companies that were solid companies, and they were coming out with new technology that the world could find beneficial, right? So when it comes to, if you are I'm gonna ask this question here as well. If you are familiar with games, like gaming is a big thing nowadays. Like kids, you all know it. They on their tablets, various things, gaming and computers. Obviously, various things are very tech driven. And what's happening is they have something called chips on the inside of them. Not like when we eat chips, obviously, but they have these chips on the inside of it that make it run, that make it have different graphics, that cause that game or that device to perform a particular way. Well, I begin to invest in a collection of these companies. And here's what I want you all to know. I'll begin to do that like October-ish of September, this time last year, pretty much of last year. I did my research. I looked at their charts. I said, wait a minute, they're solid. They're making new things happen. We've navigated this pandemic. We're seeing things move in a certain direction. I'm going to begin to put money into these areas, right? I'm going to hold it for a 5, possibly 10-year period of time. We'll see. Listen, family, those investments have gone up 250%. Like, just from being able to look at what I just showed you all on charts. Fam, I want you all understand this, right? I want you to get this in your mind. If you put money, and you should have a savings account, obviously, right? You should, right? Your savings account is probably paying you like 0.01%, 0.02%, 0.03%, whatever else it is. A savings account isn't built to make you massively wealthy. It's your defense. It's there to be there for you, your protection, your safety. If things go wrong, you don't have to charge on a credit card. It has its purpose, but understand it's not going to give you these massive returns. Family, listen to me. Your savings account is paying you that 0.01, 0.02, 0.03. Listen to what I just told you. I made some investments that returned 200 plus percent. Are y'all listening to this? This is the power of investing. It can change everything for you. You can still work your job if you choose to, still build your business, and you're taking a part of those funds and you are investing it and you're seeing the returns come in. It will change how you look at everything. I want to ask this question. What is the best type of account to open on a platform like Fidelity or Vanguard? Great question. All right. And so there are multiple types of accounts you can open. Here's one of them. So you can, depending on like where you work, you can open up an account that is it's called an IRA, which is an individual retirement account. An IRA, you can put in a certain number of a certain amount of funds into an IRA during the year, whether that's 5,500, 6,000, etc. Right? So they have something called an IRA. Now they have different types of IRAs, right? One type of IRA, and these are intended for like retirement for later, it are pre-tax funds, right? That's a traditional IRA. You can put money into it before your money gets taxed. So like a 401k plan is similar to that. Like the money goes into it before the IRS touches it. It's a pre-tax money, right? And then you get taxed on it after, I believe, it's 59 and a half, right? And you just have to pull that money out. They also have something, an IRA that's called a Roth, ROTH, a Roth IRA. You can open that kind of account. That is a after-tax dollars, which means after you receive your paycheck or your money's been taxed already, you can put money into a Roth IRA. And as those funds grow, remember, you've been taxed already on those funds. And so those funds will grow tax-free for you, right? Up into those retirement ages. Now, there's a third option. There's multiple options, but I'm going to give you just 3 tonight. One's a traditional IRA, which simply means pre-tax money goes into that. Secondly is a Roth, ROTH IRA. You could put money that's already been taxed into that. Or, it's what people do as well, they open a just regular, like on Robinhood, Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, wherever you open your account with, it's just simply called a brokerage account. All that means is you're opening an account with a broker and you're putting in your 50, your 100, your 200, or whatever else that you're putting into it. and you're able to buy shares of stock in that brokerage account, right? And so those are multiple options that you can use. I would encourage you to do a mix of them. An IRA, those are right. You're planning for retirement, putting money into that over time. You're investing in that. A regular brokerage account are like funds you're putting in, funds you would normally, you would go buy your extra accessories with, or things you would normally just splurge on, whatever. You're taking a part of those funds and you're just investing in a brokerage account over time. And so when you open like a Robinhood, again, Vanguard, Fidelity, whatever, that you will see these types of options when you go into it. And so, phenomenal question. And so that's how you would look at it as it pertains to the type of account. Phenomenal question. Phenomenal question. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fam, man, shout out to you all for coming through tonight, coming through this evening. Thank y'all for sharing. Listen, if I believe I answered all the questions. If I miss any questions that you all were having, some of you have been answering each other's questions in the chat. Absolutely amazing. So I didn't even have to answer those questions. So shout out to us for growing, for growing, for growing. Any questions that you have, even as you watch this later, and listen, go in and listen to it later on the way to work, on the treadmill, in the morning, or whenever you listen to it, and start getting these concepts, start getting this language into your mind. Go back and look at what it means about a candlestick. Go back and look at what it means to look at a stock chart. Very basic things that you can begin to understand. It's going to help you understand where your money is going, which is incredibly, incredibly important. All right. So again, make sure you have liked this video, subscribe to this video. We're going to continue to drop amazing content, amazing information about how we can continue to be good financially and achieve true financial freedom. I shout out to you all for coming through tonight. In fact, if you learned something tonight, man, drop some hearts in the chat. Type some words in the chat. If this helped you in any kind of way tonight, talk to me in the chat. Let me know right here, right now in the chat. The hearts in, the words in the comments. I want to make sure, man, that we glean, that we learn from this content tonight. If you heard something, you learned something that you did not know before, listen, talk to me in the chat. I want to make sure that we're adding value. That's the key. That's what really matters. Talk to me right here in the chat. I'm seeing the hearts. I like it. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be dropping more information throughout the weeks. We'll do some more of these lives. If you in the comments below, drop in more comments or questions about what you want to learn about, and I'll be sure to address those with videos, with lives, etc. And so I appreciate, fam, all the love. Thank you all for sharing, and we're going to keep this thing going. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Shout out to you all. Shout out to you all. Incredible. Love to see it. Listen, fam, much love to you all. Let's keep building. Let's stay focused. Let's do our research. Let's study. And over time, we're going to consistently see that we are getting better. Let's do this thing together. Appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, comments in the chat. Let's keep this thing going forward. I'm out. Peace, y'all.